I just remembered my father and mother did teach me a trick that I stopped using in my early 20s. When I was like 21 or 20, no, I was about 20. And when I was about 22, 23 with a different girl. And whenever I was living in Lynn with a different girl. Three girls have either lied to me and two of them were just stupid about it. But my father taught me a trick, and whenever my girlfriends are lying to me about stuff, I have a tendency to fall into this trick back in my early 20s. But as I was 24, 25, and talking to people, I just didn't just call people out now, I guess, a little more. I believe in a little more honesty and transparency. I guess transparency is the last 8 years my new real push as an improvement. And with my relationship friends, I'm looking for a lot of transparency and honesty both ways. So maybe that's why. But my mother and father taught me a good trick. And it's really my father who taught me it. So when my mother was full of shit or acting crazy, okay, and it was obvious to everybody, my father would go along with it. Like, just let it continue. Go along with it. Pretend like you don't know they're full of shit. And at times, I think he really didn't know. But other times, he knew. He knew my mother was completely nuts at times. He was just trying to ride it out. And so, like, I dated this Asian girl. Now, she was on birth control, and I use condoms, right? And the condoms I'm using are expensive ones. And then I switched to latex because she said this latex bullshit. So I bought these special ones that weren't latex. But then she was at the doctor's office and she didn't give a latex off. I brought her to the doctor's, yeah, by the way. Yeah, I brought her to a doctor's appointment whenever she was sick. So anyway, she skipped the latex stuff and she's talking about pregnancy. And I'm like, for one, you can label for birth control. Two, I use a condom. It's just not, it's a different type. For three, you're not allergic to latex, so I'm going to switch back to them. And I'm just not going to tell you I switched the brand. And we'll see what happens. And if you're fine with them, then you're a liar. If you have an allergic reaction, holy shit, I got to bring you to the hospital. And I'm going to have to get you epinephrine right away. And I'm the biggest jerk in the world. Guess what? She's not allergic to latex. Of course. Seeing as latex gloves were touching her and latex products, and doctors didn't have a problem because this has been going on for years. So with all that latex near her. So anyways, so she's lying about pregnancies and she's lying about, oh, we're gonna have kids. Well, I told you many, many years. First apartment. I want you to at least do some part-time work here or there. Try to get you up there. And we got some goals we got to meet. That was the conversation we had. But she's missing that. And she's in her 30s. But she was 1 year of improvement. I saw quite a bit. The people, these 80-year-olds I deal with, even my father, the level of improvement that they get is backwards. They disimprove. They're losing what they had before. The things that they held dear about themselves in their 50s, they've now given up and lost. Their honesty, their word, their honor, just things like that. When it comes to any human being, or they'll tell themselves whatever it takes now, and I see this a lot. Children turn into adults, and then adults turn back to children before they die. And that's because of the way your brain develops. And at a certain point, it starts falling apart. Your body, your feet, your organs, your brain. And if somebody drugs you or hurts you in a certain way by giving you poisons or slipping you pills, That's gonna hurt like a motherfucker, but you got a lot of time. I mean, if your brain still works and your heart still pumps and you can still do everything else, then you're still all right. And if I get medical treatment, I mean, even if I'm a little slow and I can't run or ride a bike, I can still work, I can still lift, I'm still good. And that's perfectly obtainable, but there's other people involved. But that's why I have these conversations about what I've learned in life. My father used to let his wife, my mother, kind of do her own thing and let everything slide like he didn't understand or didn't hear the craziness. And when my girlfriends or some people are going over that crazy line, sometimes I'll just pretend like I didn't hear it. Or, like, for instance, I had another girlfriend that said that she was pregnant, but there's no way. We only had sex one time. I have no sperm count whatsoever. There's a drizzle, and I'm wearing a condom. You are not pregnant. So, when you have these situations going on, do you call them out and cause a fight? You're never going to get laid again for the rest of your life. She's going to tell every girl in town how you called her out on their shit, but how she's really got a latex allergy or whatever. And it's not going to solve anything. It's better, like I handled one of them, is I told her first, or I really used a condom on her skin first to see if there was a rash. I told her it was a rash. I said, I touched you on the arm when we slept with a latex glove to see if you got a rash. You got no rash. No, it was actually a condom, but maybe she would have been grossed out about that. So what she, and she goes, oh, and she was honest with me. Now, did I fuck her with a condom first? No, of course not. I don't even know if that would work. I just wanted to tell the truth. I had no idea if that would even cause a full rash, even if somebody did on the skin. But I like to imagine it like I gave her a screwing. I mean, her parents wanted me to sleep in the same bed with her. I was like, what? Wait a minute. What? You want us in the same bed? Oh, okay. Hey, are you translating your parents right? I know they don't speak English, but your father speaks a little bit. I think I can. I think I can ask this one. You okay? Me in bed? You my son. You my son. Yes, yes, yes. You work now. You work now. Ah, okay then. I got it. See, we can break that language barrier. They speak Cambodian, Japanese, and Laotian, and the Japanese is lacking. The Japanese are lacking, but the Laotian and the Cambodian, they got down like hard. Oh, God. I'm like, what? Huh? What's going on? What? Come on, translate, somebody. What's going on? What's the fight about? Can I help? Come on, I'm great at this. I don't speak Cambodian, but I'm great at. Okay, I'm your son, and now you just yelled at her at Cambodian. Now she's yelling you in Cambodian. Oh, I'm stupid. That's Laotian? Oh, okay. Laotian. Oh, but she over there is speaking Cambodian. I'm confused now. Your stepmother over there speaks Cambodian, but you two are speaking Laotian? Oh, you guys speak both. Oh, okay. And so are you gonna translate? Fuck him. That's what I translate. Oh, great. Just great. Fuck him. I understand that. Oh, your father knows how to say that much in English. Good job. He understood fuck you. Yeah, that actually happened. So, when you have situations in a household like that and your girlfriend is immature and has a ways to go, it's best to move her out. You got to get her an apartment and You got to get her away from that situation. Now, I can work hard, and she got Social Security, and I can find her own apartment. That's not a problem. Her father fighting with her and putting her hands on her, that's a little different. He got violent a couple times in another room when I came back from work, but she does have some problems. She cries, 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 and falls apart when anybody tells her to do something in a tone. Any negative tone and she breaks apart. Well, guess what? I don't like negative tones either. That's perfect for me. I hate negativity. And she was never negative. If any negativity came in the room, she'd burst out crying, running away. So that was perfect. That was perfect for me because we always got along. Because I don't do negativity, but if there is negativity, I can deal with it. If it gets in my face or violent, then I just get violent back. My problem is I mimic whatever is being to me. If we're positive, we're positive. If you're negative, I get negative, and now we got a problem. Now we're both negative, and two negatives don't exactly go together. So that's the problem with me is I turn negative. Her, she runs around crying. So I guess she might turn negative, but in a different way. I mimic the behaviors that the person is doing to me. Usually it's how do you like it type treatment. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Like I had a girl who I had to tell that to. I had to basically give her the moment of where she lied to me. I told her she told me the truth. It wouldn't matter. She told me the truth. It did matter. I broke up with her. And she goes, "You lied." And I said, "And how do you like it? You just admitted that you lied about something big. Now I told you it wouldn't matter. And now it mattered. So, I'm sorry. I lied. How does it feel? Doesn't feel good, huh?" Yeah, a girl tried to lie for her with her age for 2 days. Yeah, she wanted to go out with me. Her 19-year-old friend, or she was 18 and she was turned 19. I'm pretty sure it was not. Yeah, she was 19 at this time. Anyways, this girl was pregnant from somebody else who was much older than her. There was a guy in his 30s that fucked her when she was 18. Now she's 19. I ended up knowing, we all knew her at 17 on the streets, but none of us would touch her. I mean, we would stay away from her, but she always wanted cake too. And she would try to get in these crews. And I'm like, oh my God, these are the wrong people. But luckily, Gabi, who was 19, was a fucking nut who would just fucking fight anybody, any place, anywhere. And he was a good kid though. It would just be for women. Like if you came over fucking with a woman, he would just lose it. So this is a kid that would just lose it really quick for the right reasons. He died at age 19, 20, turning 20 in a hallway. Some people say heroin, but I know better. It was cough medicine and huffing. That kid, I don't know what was wrong with him, but he was always taking cough medicine and way past it, and he didn't do it smart. See, you got to take the right cough medicines, and I knew that back at age 13. I was taught by a pro in a program what cough medicine to take. I had kids to show me the way, and then I also was able to ask around, and one of the first rules is you do Robitussin. Then they said ones without any cough, Tylenol, and things like that. This kid was dusting off like crazy, huffing shit like crazy, and he's old. I'm like, he's not 14 in a freaking hallway. Where do people huff? Under a bridge. They're not teenagers under a bridge. At the park, I smoked weed a lot at the park. But no, you wouldn't bring that to a park. How, you know what? I was never a huffer. I tried some whipped cream in a bush. That was the best I got to for huffing. And then I lost my interest. And even when I finally tried nitrous, I was like, holy shit, nope, nope, don't like it. Nope, the woo 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 is all right, but the back, the stuff my mother did to me, no, I don't like it getting worse. Nope, nope, nope. Might only be for 15 seconds, but nope, not for me. So yeah, I got to try a balloon of nitrous. I got to try it. I didn't have a seizure or anything, but I felt like I might have one. So nope, not for me. Here, Kenny, finish the damn balloon. But it's still half full. You sure? Yeah, you can buy me a nip later, okay? Just here, take it. It's only $1.50 worth. It's $3 a balloon, for goodness sake. I mean, and these are big, giant ones. I mean, these are giant balloons. So, and it was more than half full. I mean, this thing was. You got to think about the pressure and that. So, yeah. Anyways, there's some information about my life and some background information, and how I learned a lesson from my father on how to let your women act crazy that I threw away. In my early 20s, I mimicked that. Then I learned long term loyalty and transparency and accountability with honor and respect. But the problem is, people like to make up stories about me too. And I was a child once, and I was a teenager once. And I did not get treated like a normal teenager. While some teenagers got to sneak out, I had a mother coming in my room for shadow people. I wasn't even allowed to have friends because she was already acting crazy with nobody there. So I had enough problems, and my mother was always creating them. Mostly illnesses and stuff like that, Munchausen syndrome type shit. And still today, they're still causing damage to my life, and I'm probably gonna die soon because of their actions and the words they're making. And the worst part about it is they're causing consequences for the rest of the family when my body is there. I mean, uh, most likely I am gonna die of exposure or something because that nobody can really get a read because of the medical records my family keeps on trying to use to prevent me from getting the medical care I need or prevent them from looking bad or taking responsibility or having consequences or whatever bullshit they think is going to come their way if they tell the truth about what happened or they listen to me, they believe me and work on it. That's too much for them. No, they rather cause pain and suffering in another human being. No, no, no. They can't do this and be nice. They like it better calling somebody a shithead and then trying to find understanding and trying to fix the issue they created. Instead, they want somebody else working themselves to death in the woods fixing their issue for them. And then if they die, they rather have the government try to come after the whole family and ask for information just for a dead end, as other family members take a couple years to catch on to what's going on as they get different paperwork. And then those people try to go after them. And then more people and more people and more people, as I even leave nice little presents for them too, for them to stumble upon when they least expect it. So, with all that type of stuff going on, it just doesn't make sense to go that route. Wouldn't it be better to follow Jesus, listen, understand, and if you have questions, try to understand? But one of the first things you got to do is say, I'm willing to take that's bad. I'm willing to take responsibility. What can I do? And what more can I understand? What more can you tell me about the situation? I don't understand. Oh, I don't understand that either. Can you talk to somebody else with you, have them understand it, and then maybe they can talk to me? Yeah, I can do that. I bet I can find somebody who can understand this if you can't. It's not that hard to understand. I mean, once when you know what Munchausen syndrome is, and I give you the details, it starts to come in the picture for the before age 12. And once when you got the information from New Mexico, Texas, um, Maine and Westford, it should be pretty clear. And then once we get the information for the 10 years after, where my mother spins stories that at different doctor's offices and uses my father's money, and then he tries to say that hurting me by letting my mother go nuts on me is somehow a good thing, that he spent money on his wife. How him giving his wife money to drive me around to get pills is somehow some great treatment that he paid for me. Meanwhile, I'm going through a lot of suffering that people are noticing. And me, I don't even think I think it's normal to be falling down or being left in the woods in New Mexico and going unconscious. Well, not in the woods. Yeah, it's behind a tree, so wooded. Anyways, just a single tree, and then it gets to woods 10 feet from that tree. There's only like 3 trees, though, planted at that distance. But, anyways, so apparently, no, no, he doesn't think that any of this is bad or it's all a story, it's all a fantasy. Now, why would my father, after all the evidence and all the time and everything I've sent him and told him, would he think that? Well, I've never lied to him. I'm not somebody who makes up stories. I've never made up stuff for doctors' offices, and I've always gone along with their plan for the medication. The only thing I ever asked the doctors for is something to sleep, something for anxiety, and early on the ADHD medication. What they cut off because you threw me out of a home. That was the stupidest reason in the world. Literally. I left a home and they said because I would be homeless, they should take me off my Ritalin suddenly. And they should leave all the crazy pills in my system. And I should be having problems at the shelter moving my body so that I have to take all these pills while living in a tent outside, and then winter comes. Yeah, that was a great year of age 20. Yeah, that worked out great, right? Yeah. 20-year-old living in the woods, having problems with shelters, taking the wrong medication, his body is fried from the last 15 years. Yeah, that's going to work out, right? Yeah, he just needs to get a job and that will somehow work out, right? Fuck no. Unless you're a fucking complete moron. Unless you've been living under a cave and you don't know me at all. But nobody fucking thinks that's a great idea.